I'm going to start today doing something that maybe you will find surprising, which is I'm going to praise something that the Trump administration did, even if indirectly. The CDC is run by Donald Trump's selection, Dr. Robert Redfield. The CDC, under the guidance of Trump's pick, put together a fantastic document about how to open the economy safely. Now, you might be wondering, I don't know, David. I saw that guidance that Trump promoted. It seems pretty stupid, actually. It doesn't seem that good. And you would be right. I'm talking about a document that was suppressed by the Trump administration and has only seen the light of day because it's been leaked. This is a guide to reopening that's been in the works for weeks. It contains really good, specific, detailed guidance for different types of businesses and organizations, restaurants versus churches versus childcare. It's detailed, it's put together by professionals, and it was done by an agency run by a Trump selected appointee. It's all fantastic, except that the documents were covered up by the Trump administration to see that they never actually see the light of day. This is almost as big a scandal as Trump's bungling of the medical side. They have good guidance for how to reopen the economy. This is what we've been looking for. Dr. Robert Redfield worked on this for weeks at the CDC, showed it to doctors like Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci. Redfield even approved it by email, but it was disappeared, never to be seen. It's now been leaked to the Associated Press by CDC staffers who did not have permission to publish it. They knew the right way to reopen. The CDC put hundreds, thousands of total hours into this, and they're just ignoring it because the optics wouldn't be good. Now, by the way, I don't want to get off track, but even the guidelines that the Trump administration did put out about how to go to phase one, almost all of the states that have reopened have not actually achieved the guidelines that supposedly you need to achieve to go to phase one. That's a different story. The document that the CDC put together would have saved lives. There are all sorts of businesses that want guidance for how to open correctly, and the guidance is different in a restaurant than it is in a church. So, for example, they had a guide with advice for restaurants, and it includes lists of exactly how bars should be cleaned, pay special attention to food contact surfaces, and how bathrooms at restaurants and bars should be dealt with. It addresses the issue of physical menus. I've tweeted before, the physical menu is a cesspool of germs that should be eliminated altogether. It talks about continuing to use disposable utensils, even for people who start to eat in the restaurants. This is really good stuff tailored specifically for restaurants. But Trump just wants things wide open. So this guide was smothered and covered up. It has different guidance for churches, for example, actually tailored to churches. For example, everybody over age 2 should wear a mask at church, period. Trump doesn't want that getting out there. Put up signs all over the building, the church, synagogue, mosque, whatever, so that people see the social distancing guidelines wherever they look. It encourages video streaming or drive-in services. Suspend a choir if your community of faith has one, because people standing near each other singing is a great way to spread droplets. Singing spreads them more than talking. These are really good specific recommendations, and it all went in the trash. Now, one other note, which is the cover-up. Trump's press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, or McEnany, said Friday that these guidelines were not actually approved, but we have the emails to prove that they are. As early as April 10th, Dr. Redfield of the CDC was sharing this document with Trump's inner circle, includes Birx and Fauci. On April 24, he again emailed the same documents to Birx and others and said, just look it over so that we can publish it. The CDC was good to go. They had approved it. And they were just waiting for the Trump administration to give them the go-ahead, which never came. And of course, the Trump administration insisted via multiple emails, you are not authorized to publish this. This is not okay to publish. So this is where we really are getting to kind of the crux of what we're dealing with right now. Trump handling this well from day one would have saved lives. I've talked about what should have been done somewhere between March 5th and March 10th. It's not this pretend game where I was never going to shut it down on January 29th when we had no cases or almost no. No, we're not saying that, but we are talking about March 5, a coordinated 50 state response. That would have saved a lot of people. Now, a lot of people on the right don't seem to care very much about that, but it would have helped the economy as well. It would have helped to prevent some of the economic damage that we're now seeing. If we had a coordinated 60-day, 50 state stay at home guideline starting on March 5, on March 7, March 10, it would be over by now. We'd be past 60 days. We would be reopening potentially with the guidance of this CDC document, which was thrown in the trash. It's infuriating, but it's also tragic. It's tragic in terms of the life lost and in terms of the economy. And it all could have been handled far differently without having to go to these outrageous things like no one shuts a country when you have one case. I agree. But what about when you have 221 cases like we did on March 5th? That's a different conversation. They don't want to have that conversation.